Hello and welcome to this 10-minute turnaround identifying automatic reactions to triggers. The key here being the word automatic. Automatic means it's working by itself with little or no direct human control. So just before we begin, I want you to just frame this whole 10-minute turnaround with the fact that most of our triggers are subconscious. They're on the unconscious level. As a trauma-informed therapist, I have spent a great deal of time and energy and research and study on how trauma affects us, and then have acquired tools on how to help people consolidate their trauma and rewire their neural pathways. That's called memory reconsolidation. So I want to just put out here that if you are triggered or if you are finding yourself constantly being triggered and stuck with something, perhaps reach out to a trauma informed therapist, trauma informed spiritual director, trauma informed certified coach, anyone who has tools in their helping professional toolbox that will work with trauma. And that usually is going to involve something that is on the sensory level. And we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. So, a trigger is a stimulus that elicits unhealthy emotional reactions that lead to even more unhealthy outcomes. So, we're talking about triggers that lead to panic, despair, um, inferiority, anger, not triggers that lead to good things. And there are those triggers, but for the sake of this time we have together today, we're going to talk about those that lead us to unhealthy outcomes. A trigger sets off a memory tape deep inside of our brain, typically inside of our amygdala, because when a trigger is just an emotion that still has a negative charge on it. Every emotion or feeling that we have has a charge, positive or negative. When it's negative, it needs to be consolidated. That's the big term. It needs to be dealt with. You need to talk it through with someone who has those trauma informed tools, and you need to perhaps do an exercise or some cognitive behavioral therapy. I do something with aromatherapy with high grade therapeutic essential oils because the sense of smell goes immediately into the amygdala. It brings forth the memories that have caused the trauma, which is why you're triggering, and it consolidates it and puts it in the hippocampus. Big teaching for if something keeps tripping you, you want to be able to take away that negative charge, make peace with it, make peace with it, make sense of it, make meaning with it, and then you can put it to rest. Our hippocampus is just like a filing cabinet inside of our brain. And when we consolidate it and we make peace with it, then we just file it away and it's just part of our story. So that's a very quick interpersonal neurobiology lesson. Triggers are very, very personal. I can tell you what triggers one person won't trigger another person. They increase our emotional intensity and they're activated through the five senses, like I have said: sight, sound, touch, smell, and taste. So, what do we do then? First and foremost, remember our teaching back in day 4, about how epigenetics, our emotional DNA, is passed down from the third to fourth generation. Begin to listen to the echoes and whispers in your life. Begin to become very aware of how you're moving through your days and be increasingly attuned to, I keep tripping over that. Why am I doing that? And then move forward with the steps to help consolidate that. So triggers happen. We live in a world filled with conflict, and they're going to happen. So I'm giving you these beautiful slides to return to. We don't have time to go deep into them today, but please return. This is what this whole entire course is for. It's a resource for you to return to and study and gain more tools in your emotional health and mental health toolbox. So when we talk about trigger events, They are going to usually maybe be nonverbal cues that are just setting an alarm off inside of you. So in tool 3 of my book, Stronger Every Day, 9 Tools for an Emotionally Healthy You, I give you this heart-lifting mental gym to work through your automatic initial emotional responses, the automatic thoughts, and then I invite you to reframe the thoughts and build your muscles. That's called heart lifting, so that you can continue to move through life. Remember that whole brain we talked about, that prefrontal cortex. Move through life from a responsive state instead of flipping our lids and moving through life from a reactory state. We want to stay whole brained. And so, if you want more, if you want to go deeper, I'm giving you these charts to help you outline something that I call, let's get to that. Okay. Something that I call, not I call, the world of psychology and neurology call cognitive distortions. I'm giving you 10 here so that you can look at them and go, oh my gosh, that that's what I'm thinking. And some folks call it stinking thinking. These cognitive distortions are just maladaptive ways that our thinking processes have developed, probably from our family of origins, maybe from, like we said before, all those voices in our lives, that those maladaptive voices. So just take the time to read through these. The assumer, maybe you're a magnifier, maybe you're a shrinker. Oh, I did that for years. A generalizer, a black and white thinker. You can look at a few more. The judger, the personalizer, the discounter, the labeler, and the emotionalist. Take the time to look at how this maladaptive thinking plays out in your day to day life. And once you identify them, you can begin to be aware of them and then practice reframing those thoughts so that you don't have automatic reactions to these triggers. This is so good and so helpful. It has helped me so much in my life. We want to be out with the old, right? And in with the new. So I have given you this example of how I reframed my way of reacting. I'm a people pleaser. I am. I now say I'm a recovering people pleaser because I've done a lot of work. So this chart gives you a little bit of help. And I also wanted to leave you. Oh, wanted to leave you with simple grounding exercises. I'm giving you 3. So take your time reading through these. This is a mindful breath affirmation where you just take a deep breath. My mind is relaxed, my body is relaxed. I have a second one that I love that I call square breathing. This is where you breathe in 4, you breathe out 4. That felt good. You breathe in 4, you breathe out 4. Putting your hand over your heart and one over your solar plexus right above your belly button. This is our second brain and our third brain. And as you practice these and build these rhythms into your life, I tell you, it will become rote. And the minute you're triggered, you'll go, take a break, calm down. And instead of flipping your lid, you'll stay in that prefrontal cortex. I promise it will happen. A third is just a beautiful exercise of creating and shaping healthy affirmations and intentions. I will get through this like I do every time. I'm going to deep breathe. I'm loved. I'm safe. I'm protected. Death and life are in the power of our tongue, friends, heartlifters, and we have to speak healing words. And we have to build this practice in our life so that it becomes rote. And I'll just leave you with this final affirmation: all is well, and I'm at peace. Mindfulness, meditation. Help us to identify our automatic reactions and transform them into beautiful, healthy responses.